Hello friends, welcome to my channel and thanks for watching this video. As we are hours ago from the important event of this year, okay, which is the US presidential election, it's important to do the analysis of the indices first, and with that, keeping that thing in mind, what we are going to do is going to look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average DJI, and this is the hourly chart of it because the volatility will happen in next couple of days or within next couple of days as we are heading towards the election. Now things could go in both the direction as it has been, so we don't know, we are not talking about the overall trend, okay, which is a long term trend, but we are going to discuss about the probability and the way the prices are moving, and stock indices, basically Dow Jones or S&P or Nasdaq, will give you a fair amount of idea about the things which are there into the market. Having said that, so this is the trend which we are looking at, and if you can observe the trend, what we can see here is just that the trend has been tilted like this. Okay, so it is not like this, it is something like this. So it has been tilted. So this is the way to look at it, obviously, because we cannot when you are looking at a price or a trend, you have to admit or you have to go with the things that is visible in front of you. So if you are looking at this trend, as you can see, it has been tilted. So there are two ways, a couple of ways, basically two ways to look at it. Either it will follow the suit or it will break the trend. Okay, so these two parameters are visible, and if I, as I have drawn this line, as you can see, this is probably sitting at the lower end of the range or at the support level, and the next thing we could expect is a sharp spike up on the upside, or it could go down because volatility is there and markets are expecting something. Or if it is not near to that, let's say there are two scenarios. First, market has expectation which has met. Second, market has expectation which have exceeded. So if things get exceeded, so market gets excited. If things are there but as per the expectation or below the expectation, you will see some correction. Okay, and how deep could the correction be, that we have to look, because that we cannot control. What we could control is know about the support and resistance level, and we just need to understand where is our better risk reward opportunity. Okay, so for that, what we are going to do for the time being, I'll just shift it to the line chart, which will give me a fair amount of clarity on the trend. So here you have the trend. Okay, what will happen in candlestick, that you will have shadows, so which sometimes lead to something else. So right now, let me just draw the important support and resistance level. Okay, to have a fair amount of idea about the trend. So for the timing, this is the lowest which we could probably look at. I'll not go below this, and on the upside you have something like this. Okay, so I think this will be fine. So here we have, which I think will probably cover the short, the minute, the hour, as well as the days chart as well. Okay, so here you can see it is very much clear that the stock, you just need to adjust a bit, that's it. The stock is near to its support level and it has taken support at 26,173. Now let's say if it breaks down, okay, if it breaks down or moves below 26,173, then we have our next support at 25,681. Further we have our next support at 25,000. Okay, now you just need to stop and think here that 25,000 is a very important level. Okay, that's where your previous support lies, 1, probably 2, 3 and 4, and from that the stock went up and probably consolidated in between a range. So if the stock price falls or if the index price falls below 25,000, then we have a close support at 24,642, but if it falls below that, then it could probably leads towards 23,251. So if it falls below 25,000, one need to be very careful about the trend, okay, in the short term, because things could move in both the ways. Now on the long term, on the long side, you have your first resistance at 26,824, okay, or the target. Above that you have 27,707. Further you have 28,972, and your final resistance of the target for the time being will be 29,199. Now I will not go beyond this, neither on the downside nor on the upside, because the stock price or the index price has been moving inside a trend. So we have to respect the range unless the stock, okay, here you have, unless the stock either moves above 29,200 or falls below 23,000, we are not going to think that something big is going to happen. Whatever has to happen, it will happen in between these. And I think the level is the length of this level is well defined, because you have in case of normal scenario you have 25,000 on the downside and 29,000 on the upside, so it's a 4,000 point range. And in case of volatility, so you can exceed this downside range 2,000 points on the downside. Okay, so now with that, the range, entire length of the range will be 6,000 points. So that would be fine for the time being. Means in any kind of, this is not a scenario where the world is going to be end. Okay, that's not going to happen. And some people does not intend to, but sounds like a doomsday, and that things can be catastrophic and there will not be any tomorrow. So this is not the way, to interpret anything like that, because obviously, and understand one thing, the fall is much more sharper and very quick when compared to the rise. Okay, a bull market need to develop, and then base creation, then formation of base, and then stock started building up and again falls down and it's going up. So there is a whole lot of process, but it is not it is not complex when you are looking at the downside. It is just like that things get very wobbly beyond a certain point, and there is a slight news and things get popped up and stock will fall down or the index will fall down. Okay, sometimes the impact of the news probably will be very big and very small, that's a different scenario, but things works like that in downside. So do not interpret this trend beyond a certain range, irrespective of who is winning. I think 400, 4,000 or 6,000 point is well enough to define a trend and the movement due to the volatility. So that would be fine. And one more thing, as I've already told you, be inside the trend. If you think it will go on the upside, So you have 29,000, it will go on the downside, so you have 25,000. If it falls excessively, then you have 23,000. That's it. Okay. And you, as I've already explained you the support and the resistance level, put your stop losses very carefully and very strictly. Do not do anything which is naive. Otherwise, this is not the market to do things like that, and not the situation. It can give you lots of money if you're lucky enough to catch the trend. So that's the only way. Otherwise, means anyhow, market is volatile, and this is just an event which will add further stimulus to the volatility. So this is the end of the video. If you like this content, do share your thoughts in the comment section and subscribe my channel. Lastly, take care of your family and friends.